Justin Hamilton here for another special Can You Take This Photo Please? Today we have superstar Rove McManus joining us with the delightful Celia Pacquola. We're not only going to be talking about stand-up, but we're also going to be talking about what it's like to perform in other parts of the world, the US and the UK respectively. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Yes, I should have walked in with a huge bottle of alcohol or a giant Toblerone, as big as this table.
And an
There's
airtight
no
alibi.
excuse. No excuse.
How are you feeling? You look great.
I've showered. I don't
Yeah.
know how it is that lying, sort of sitting on a plane for 15 hours can make you stink so much. But
Yeah.
It happened.
It's the air conditioning, isn't it? And the
But shouldn't that should make you not sweat? I don't get why just sitting
it's
there.
breathing other people. It's just that contained no air.
Yeah.
It's just
So it's
everything
someone
coming
else's
out of
BO.
someone else's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I find the worst thing about flying by yourself is if someone else does that terrible smell, which they do. You've got no one to go.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anyone.
It's the best place
Yeah.
to do it because
It
it
is.
could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be any. It could have come from 3 rows behind you,
Yeah.
4 rows in front. It's the best place. If you're going to fart, it's the best place to do it.
I'm a big believer in the blue towel and just having that over me and trying to contain it as much as possible. And then if it's a bit whiffy, just looking around, just going, oh,
God.
who did that?
And I have to cock my leg. I'm
have
very
to.
obvious. Yeah, I can't. Like
unfortunate.
if both cheeks are sitting flat.
Yeah.
Can't be done. What
can't do-
happens?
well, I don't know. I might
You'd
take
be like
off like a little
ejector
rocket.
seat. Yeah.
But I just, and so sometimes, like, you might even notice it during this.
Oh,
For those
good.
who are watching the film part of this, I might just casually just kind of lean back like,
Go,
oh yeah. But I wouldn't rudely lean back. I'd lean this
That
way.
way.
Yeah, 'cause you're a gentleman.
'cause you're a gentleman.
Before we started rolling, which I was finding quite interesting, you were talking about in the US, Rove.
Yeah.
Have you developed any race material? Because
No, there
it's
is
phenomenal.
I mentioned, I got away with a joke. There's a guy in the audience who was Jewish, and it was on Good Friday, and I was just kind of riffing with the crowd and just sort of, doing a bit of, where you're from, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy said, I don't know how it even came up, but he said something about he was Jewish. And I said, oh, well, thanks for the holiday.
Right.
Because it was Good Friday. I said,
Yeah.
oh, happy Good Friday, by the way, and by the way, thanks for the holiday.
Yeah.
And as it came out of my mouth, it was one of those ones I wanted to grab it and pull it back in.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I lobbed it, I thought, I know this country and I know this city, and it can be really prickly. Either they're going to go with it, or there'll be that awful fucking ooh.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had done enough prior to that they understood where I was coming from and knew that it was not mean or racist or whatever.
Yeah.
And it went well, but normally I steer clear of it because it's a minefield and I don't know how to walk it yet.
It's similar in the UK in that they're more interested in class. Everyone is like, I'm from here and I'm posh or I'm scum or, that's...
So it's knowing the location to go, how shit is this town?
Yeah, there's a lot of, and from this place, like there's a lot of that kind of thing, but it's the same thing as in an hour out in any different direction, completely different. Like an hour out one way is rough as hell, and then I went to another place an hour out and I was prepared going, this is going to be so rough, blah, blah. And it was the poshest, most conservative place. They audibly sort of gasped when I said God, just like, oh my God. They were like, I could feel it. And I went, what?
Wow.
And because you don't know where you're going, and you just have to go there and go and hope. Like once it was a biker bar. And I'm like, you could have told me this.
Yeah.
But it was I was going to play.
Have you ever done a biker bar before?
No.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're really into it.
right. Yeah.
Are there rooms that you wouldn't do anymore? Like if, there's, you didn't have a good experience there, and my stuff's just not going to fly there. I just won't do it anymore.
Probably. Rooms like that generally don't get asked back.
So it works out quite well.
I do heaps of open mics in London when I'm just feeling bad about myself. Because often they're like, you can sing a whole sentence. Oh my God.
Let's keep it.
But I am doing every gig now over there. This is the year of doing horrible things. I mean, I hope they're not horrible, but I'm doing everything and all the gigs out in Exeter and hours and hours and hours. Because I just figure, all of this stuff I stress about, it might be the worst thing ever, but a month after that, it'll be, I did this thing, it was the worst thing ever.
I still do that. Like sometimes going into things, I'll think, well, a couple of hours from now, I'll be back on my lounge.
Yeah, that's it.
And that gets me through the gig.
That's it. This is pretty sad, but once I had a very scary gig and I actually left a note on my bed for myself that said, the people who love you still love you, no matter what happens, just in case, and left a sandwich there as well.
You left yourself a sandwich.
It's a treat to come home and go.
I've got back into doing regular stand-up a lot more in LA than I was doing for all the same reasons.
When it's apart as well, it builds it up.
So I've kind of enjoyed getting back out there and
finding the swagger.
Yeah, and just going, try something new. It's okay. It's okay. If they don't dig it, it's fine. I mean, they don't know who you are to go, I went and saw Rove and he wasn't any good. They got no idea.
Yeah.
So go home and then go to the next room the next night and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Celia, you are in the middle of a big nomination at the moment where you're up against some pretty...
This is ridiculous.
Do tell.
I still think it's spam. I got an email and went, is this a real thing? Later show that I did for ABC, we filmed a second series last year that hasn't gone to air yet, it's about to go to air. And then we all got an email from the producer last week going, just open this, and there was this link, and at the Monte Carlo television festival, it's been nominated in the best comedy category against like 20 shows. Like there's some show from Paraguay, but then like 30 Rock and Big Bang Theory and Modern Family.
That's awesome.
And then Alison Bell, who's the lead, and myself have both been nominated in the same category as Tina Fey. And Toby Truslove and Damon Herriman, the two guys in Laid, have been nominated in the same category as Alec Baldwin.
That's clap? What? I feel like we should clap.
I don't.
That's impressive.
If there was an audience here, they would clap.
No, but it's ridiculous.
Do you ever worry about the bubble bursting sometimes?
Yeah. Oh my! I've been waiting for it, particularly here because.
Like right now, Celia's worrying about.
I'm always worrying about it, but particularly because. Because I've had such a good run, and we're an island, and just because I feel like Australia does, in my opinion, loves an underdog, and I came through on a really lovely wave when I first, which you were a part of, a big part of, with the spot like that, which we'll talk about later. But it's very important.
Yeah.
It really just made.
The spot on Rove was the spot where it went from being at the grassroots level, went from Celia Paccola's doing good work to you got to watch Celia. And from that spot on Rove.
And I do love how it all happened, because that was the first time I saw you do stand-up, was that night where we randomly happened to be on a gig together and you happened to be there.
Oh, and it was one of the few times I've ever really... It had been a long time since I'd had that opportunity to go into the office and go, saw this person last night. I think they'd be good for the show. We should get them on. And everyone just goes, sure, can do, boss. That was the first time I'd seen you too.
Yeah, I'd love that. And it was like the next week. It was a week, it was two. It was really soon after that. And it remains the most terrifying thing I've ever done.
And I remember because you were so far away. That was the days when the host set was here and you had to be all the way on the other side on this floating little stage.
With the camera in between you and
the audience was kind of on an angle a little bit.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was live until I was there. Did I tell you that afterwards? Because they said your call time is no, because they said your call time is like 8. You'll be on at 8:30. Yeah. And in my head, the show went to air. It was at 9:30. So I thought there's an hour. I thought there was an hour delay. So I thought worst case, you can do your job. Yeah. And I remember they were doing my hair and makeup, and there was a monitor from the studio, and then there was a regular TV, and they were doing my hair, and I just remember going. And it was the same pitch, and I was like, excuse me.
You know, there's a jazz musician who lives in New York who listens to this podcast who sends very lovely messages on Twitter about the similarities that between comedy and jazz. And it's sort of like, you all use the same instruments and you play essentially the same song every night, but there's different ways that you get into it and out of it. And I was talking about this with our mate Jed, and Jed said, and the great thing about jazz and stand-up is if it's really bad, it's really shithouse.
In a lot of ways, we can be like, I know people who could go see jazz and go, what a wank. But stand-up can be like this. We do enjoy what we do while we're doing it, as much as a jazz musician.
And it's one of those things that some people don't see it as an art, it's just messing about.
And I've seen audiences or been in the audience myself where the person on stage is enjoying it far more than the people in the
when
crowd.
They walk off stage. I just blew the roof off. It's like, the roof of what? Hey, we should wrap up. How long are you in town, Rove?
Only for a few days.
Yeah. It's all
I cannot
Logies.
believe how coherent you have been from landing this morning.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know what I'm looking
I thought you were going to go, yep.
At a moment when
fall down.
I think I lapsed into a coma for about 2 seconds.
Thank you for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. Gosh.
A pleasure.
With me, I build a do what you wanna. It's fine with me, I build a do what you wanna. It's fine with me, I build a dynasty with the rhymes and beats.